Hey, what's up, everybody? So, in today's video, I'd actually like to delve into a little bit more of a ranty topic than usual. Something that essentially revolves around the Dauntless competitive trial scene and how it could potentially look like as we progress through Dauntless Awakening. Now, this entire rant will pretty much be dependent on the idea that upon December 19th, 2024, the Frostfall patch/update, that the devs are able to legitimately appropriately accommodate for the various issues and gripes that the game is currently being plagued by. And it's purely dependent on that, and as long as it ends up becoming a net positive, I could definitely see where this potential perspective may actually go in regard to what positives and what great things it may be able to bring. But pretty much, the thing that I'd like to go over is what the competitive trial scene will essentially look like, with the idea of adding new weapons over the course of relatively consistent updates, having various different perspectives as to how you can approach said weapons with different build classes if they're able to bring in new pieces of armor that legitimately is able to shake up the meta as much as possible, especially with various different cell compositions, and potentially just be able to breathe new life into approaches towards behemoths with new unique abilities or new legendary abilities or even new omnicells or lantern core abilities now. It looks really good. It looks very promising. And what I'm talking about is the idea of theorycraft and strategy innovations that I feel like has been a long drought in regard to that. There's been such a long time where strategy and innovation seemed relatively stagnant. There was a stable meta. Things looked like everything was pretty much figured out except for just a few small, meticulous, nitty gritty technical adjustments that is arguable. And it's just for a little bit more damage and potentially just farming out crazy crits, right? But the idea of the meta was stale. And it seemed like whoever just had the better execution on operating under said foundation that was established many rotations prior was going to get top one, and whoever wanted it more just to farm out crits. But with the dawn of this new update, with a focus on creating more build variety and adding more creative, innovative approaches to combat, there's so much promise and potential to be able to have something that's very reminiscent of the old eras of Dauntless competitive trials. And what I'm talking about is the release of Strikers to the Crit Pot era, to the Reforge era, when strategies pretty much after every single week would be different. Innovations would be necessary. Adaptability would be priority. And the ability to collaborate effectively and be open minded and have a complete package of not just that, but a high execution specialized ceiling, as well as a brain that's legitimately able to handle such a long and tedious and hardcore attrition type of grind in regard to competitive. It's looking fantastic. It looks like something that could be very reminiscent of that old era. And it's exciting because on the assumption that they're legitimately able to bring new weapons and weapons that are like batshit crazy as much as the alluring moons, and just add various different things to the game that just creates more fun opportunities to create ridiculous strategies, things could change for the greater. And it's crazy because it's one of the main reasons why Trials was so exciting and fun for me back in the day, and what pushed me to go farther and beyond that of many other teams whenever I wanted to go for a world record, for example, or whatever I want to go for a top one that I really wanted to play. What really pushed me was the idea of innovating and understanding how to communicate that innovation or translate that innovation to the team so they too can see it. And video analyzing, understanding foundational basics from older runs to be able to implement to our new spearheaded innovation or like creative approach, and be able to see how it works, try everything, and compete at a very high level to the point where other people are doing very similar things in regard to building up that creative approach, but not in a way where it's the exact same strategy, right? It's like everyone understands that they need to work their ass off to get to a point where they have a good strategy, something that's innovative, something that's new, something that nobody's ever thought of before, and keep that within that group. Integrity, loyalty, all of that, and then see how well of a time they can get. And what's crazy is that in old eras, there were many times where each spot, each team that had a top 5 placement, had a completely different strategy than the other. But all of them would be separated by mere milliseconds, and all of them would be a base number that would be the same. It'd be like top 1 was 26.1, number 2 26.2, number 3 is 26.4. It was insane. And it really boiled down to whoever had the best RNG, best crits, or just wanted it more and grinded more for it and had better execution. It would be a multitude of factors that would determine who was better or who won that week. And to be able to see that potentially come back, it would really breathe new life to the competitive trial scene. And that's the crazy thing, right? I'm a big advocate for group trials. And the reason being is that group trials experience is one of the best things I feel like I've ever experienced in any gaming. And it's wild to be able to say that because I've played so many other games from top tier AAA titles and played them at a very high level, by the way. Played against monstrous top team organizations from FaZe, Liquid, Optic, and all of that, and Fortnite, and played against Tfue in his same MMR and same as Duplex, who was at one point the #1 Apex spread in the entire game, and played Minecraft at a high level as well, and got a legendary rank on Skywars release on a really popular server. And it's crazy because I gotta say, Dauntless was more of a fruitful and fulfilling experience than any of those three. I would never trade the experience I had in Dauntless for the world. And it's crazy to say that, I know, because Dauntless is Dauntless. I feel like a lot of the OGs and veterans, have come to understand that. But that experience was just magical, man. Because the Dauntless competitive experience is one of the few games out there that actually has a high level or the opportunity and the privilege to operate at a high level at a global scale. You are able to express your skill at a global in a global way because you were able to compete against from people all around the world. And it would be a leveled approach pretty much across all fields. And you'd be able to compete against people from all the way from Russia to China to Australia, Ireland, and etc. And everybody would be able to compete and not be hindered too much by ping. It was a masterclass and a masterful display of what competitive in the highest level in any game or in just gaming in general could be. Especially during COVID, when people had all the time in the world to play their hearts out. And that's the thing when you're playing with your team and your team is made up of literally a global level, like international type of deal, where I have someone from Belgium, from someone from Netherlands, someone from Jordan, someone from Hungary on my team, for example, and we're all trying our best to figure something out, deal with the culture differences, deal with the communication language barriers, to deal with understanding how to perceive each other from a mental standpoint and collaborate effectively, be open-minded to each other's perspectives and strategies, teach each other things in a way that's not degrading, and be competitive while at the same time not being toxic pieces of shit all the time. It taught so much to the people who played group trials. That experience in itself is something I really aim to hopefully get more people to experience, because it's unlike anything I've ever experienced before. And it honestly gives so much value to understanding how you should grow personally and like self growth. So many things, so many skills I learned from playing group trials, for example, I was able to apply to the real world with great effect and find great success based off those skills culminating together to create a really professional, well polished package, especially in the real world. Hey, doggo. Sorry, dog's wanting some affection, but but that's pretty much it. Dauntless Trials looks like it's going down a route that looks incredibly promising, and I'm all for it. And I'd really like to do a little bit more of a deep dive of the experience I was able to have in group trials and Dauntless Trials in general. Just being able to get to a point where you're able to collaborate with everyone from every single walk of life, pretty much. But I'll leave that for another video. And I'll just end this video with this. Dauntless Awakening, on the assumption that the patch and update is good, could bring a whole new breath of fresh air to the competitive scene. Something that I feel like could go far beyond than anything we've ever seen in the past. And all I can do is hope for the best. Because, well, the more people who are able to experience the magic and the beauty of being able to collaborate from at that level from with people from all around the world, well, the more good people that'll come out of it. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for me. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out in the long run. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll hope to see you guys in the next one. Oh, before I go, for all of those still listening, what I'll pretty much be doing for the rest of the week is doing some game analysis. Tomorrow I'll be doing an Apex Legends game analysis of a cool game that I saw today that's very relevant. And then going down a few other games, maybe Fortnite the next day, just to establish some analysis perspectives on different other games. But during the weekends, I think I'll be going back into like Dauntless pretty much and going down through the stories. And for those of you who haven't noticed, I actually had to unlist a lot of my old videos, mostly because, well, yeah, there's a bit of copyright issues. Mostly because my outro was ended up copyrighted, which is unfortunate. But I think my plan for now is to just retell some of the stories I told in the past in a cool, more modern way, and to just re-upload just the bare raw videos of some of my achievements, like my world records, some of my top one runs, some of my solo runs, and just either analyze them or just leave them the way they are and just have them raw. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Thanks guys once again, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.